Hey, this is Gary L. Rainbow here, guys. And today is a very sad day. 16 years ago, on this very day, the WTC, World Trade Centers, TC, came down and sent up. So you gotta get his name on or something? No, like, Cyril Beden, son, planned the attack. And there was also the 1993 bombing in the garage, so that didn't any damage, but killed like 6 people, if I remember. I wasn't born, so I was born like 7 years after that. I can't remember which month of the day, but I know it was in 1993. And so this is a very sad day for the nation. 2 planes at the towers. Like, the North Tower got hit, but it stayed up just long enough. Then the South Tower got hit, but it was on a much more lower level. So like on so I came down first. Like when the North Tower got hit, it got hit like close to the top floors. And I came crashing down soon after the South Tower came down, and there was 2 more planes. The third plane hit the Pentagon. There was not too much damage there, but people did die there. But it did got repaired, and it's still standing to this day. But the towers, no, they got destroyed. So like new towers, New World Trade Center complex is being built in their place. Just across the street from where the originals stood. And the originals were built in 1975, so they were about 40 years old by the time they came down. Like, it was sad, though. And the fourth plane, it landed in a field in Pennsylvania. But you don't, that fourth plane could hit done damage to the White House or the Capitol in Washington, D.C. But the passengers on that flight knew what was going on, so they used their cell phones and stopped the terrorists dead in the tracks. And they think and that they took over the plane after the terrorists. So they also died. But the people on the 3 other flights didn't know what was going on until it was too late. So like 3,000 people died. When, like, before they came down, like, people that in the towers were falling from the top, and hitting the concrete because they were so desperate because of the fire. an aviation fuel that's fueling it. And some people did survive the collapse because they were in the stairwell. And people who were in the elevator lobby, where the elevators were, and they were not so lucky. And can I remember a name of this movie? But it's really like there are movies based on this event that are based on a true story, but I think it's called the Twin Towers, or World Trade Center, and it's like through the eyes of the first responders of the police department, and they did survive though. They, like, after the collapse, they were under the rubble, and they got out of it. Like, I can't remember how long they were in the rubble. It was a white and black guy. So one guy I think was a rookie, and the other guy was a chief. And there was also a few other guys though that was under the rubble, but some of them did die though from just within minutes of the collapse, or hours, just depending how long they did survive. And there is, I know that's a movie, so I've seen it a few times. It's a really good movie. I recommend that you watch it. And there's another movie, United did 93. Yeah, that happened. No. So United did 93, if I remember correctly, landed in a field in Pennsylvania. And again, everybody is sad that this happened. Now after this happened, so like President Bush at the time gave a speech on Air Force One while heading back to the White House. And President Bush ordered, I think, President Bush and the American people wanted, like, revenge what had happened. So for 16 years we were at war with terrorists, maybe a little bit longer than 16. I mean, the first operation was Operation Freedom, though. And ever since that day, we've been fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. But when Obama took office, he ended the war in Iraq. I mean, if President Obama didn't do that, and then ISIS would not have appeared on the scene. And finally, after I forget how long was it, the search for Bin Laden. Bin Laden. But finally, we killed him and his family. And the war ain't over yet. And again, a very sad day for the whole nation. And in the place of the original towers, is this monument, though. And people have seen it. If you're not there or not, but you have seen it in pictures. And every year, they have lights showing where the original tower stood. Every year. And that's it. And have a good day. And also, you gotta remember what happened on this very day. Goodbye. See you next time.